Hi there, this is Gaynor from Fit Fish, and today I'm going to give you some tips about eating healthily when you're camping. So festival season is coming up, or it's school holidays, and lots of people will be going away either in tents or caravans, and sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge when you have a bit of a break in routine and you end up not eating as healthily as you like. Now of course on holidays there is room to have a little bit of what you fancy, but if you can keep your main meals healthy, then that will mean that the odd glass of wine, a few crisps here and there, the odd ice cream, maybe a piece of cake is okay and can fit easily into a holiday schedule, and you'll come back and you won't feel that you've overindulged very much at all. So I'm just going to give you some tips for the meals that you cook while you're camping. So I'm kind of assuming that you've got one of those gas stoves and you've got one hob, or maybe you're in a caravan and you've got one or two hobs, but really it's good to just be able to concentrate on those one pan meals. Now preparation is key, so ideally before you go you will have made at least 3 meals and stored them in Tupperware containers. So the first night you can have something that's come from the fridge already defrosted, and you can just literally heat it up on your hob. You're probably going to be busy packing, sorting kids out, unpacking, putting tent up, chatting to people, and so to just have something that you've pre-cooked that you can just heat up is a real winner for the first night. Now the second 2 nights, or maybe even 3, you can take frozen meals with you in Tupperware that you've prepared in advance, 1 pot frozen meals, and you can let them defrost in your cool box, so it's brilliant for your cool box as well and gives you that extra kind of coolness. And you can eat those for the next couple of nights. So the first 3 nights are pretty easy, and then you move on to slightly trickier ground. So tins are our friends. So you might have seen my 1 pot spaghetti dish. So you can actually cook pasta in a tin of tomatoes. Keep an eye on it, you might want to add another half tin of water, but you can cook your pasta in a tin of tomatoes and add in some vegetables with it, and maybe some beans, perhaps some tuna as well. Perfect 1 pot pasta dish. Okay, and then you could perhaps make a bean casserole. So you can use some baked beans and then maybe 1 or 2 tins of other beans, and you can add in some garlic which you've brought with you, and some either grated or very finely cut veg. Now I find that things like carrots will last a whole week of camping, courgettes and peppers, they're pretty good, but also things like mushrooms would probably last, and tins of sweet corn. And if you cook some peas or frozen veg before you come, they'll last 2 or 3 days as well. So bean casserole made with a bit of garlic, tin of baked beans, tin of other beans and some vegetables is really, really tasty. And don't feel that you have to then serve that with rice or pasta. You could get some nice crusty wholemeal bread and serve that alongside it. So make a nice bean stew, bean casserole, add some herbs in as well, serve it with crusty bread. There's a meal. So yeah, don't forget to take your spices. You can either take lots of little jars, you can decant them into smaller jars, or you can do a pre-mix before you go. If you know you're going to cook a certain thing, then why not just pre-mix it quickly before you go and take it in a container. Noodles. So you could cook noodles and you could add in the veg to cook at the same time, and then you could use something like peanut butter. Drain off the noodles and the veg and stir through the peanut butter to make a satay sauce, and there you have it, stir-fried noodles. Or you could use pasta, vegetables and pesto. And also don't forget, packet rice you can cook in a pan, you don't have to cook it in a microwave. So you could do something like a biryani or a pilau. So you could add in spices, rice, grated carrot, a few peas, or you could do a pilau and use something like Chinese spice, some finely chopped cauliflower and broccoli and some rice. So that could be kind of coming towards the end of the week. Jars of olives, tins of fish, always really helpful to add in. And when it gets to that last night or two, obviously sometimes it's good to go out for dinner one of those nights. But there are meals in cans, and I'm not saying these are the best options in the world, but if it's a choice of going to food van and getting burger and chips for a few nights, or using a tin, actually there's some not too bad tins out there. So there's two I found here, Tesco's Stockwell chili con carne, and a vegetarian chickpea tagine from Asda. Now these are mainly good ingredients. It only comes down to about 1% of something like malted barley extract, which is not that brilliant for you, but less than 1%. But in general, you've got tomatoes, chickpeas, water, onions, tomato juice, rapeseed oil, dried apricots, garlic puree, coriander, ginger, cumin, etc. Not bad at all. So something like a chickpea tagine. I found this one quite spicy, so I would water that down probably with half a tin to a tin of tomatoes as well. And you could serve that again with crusty bread if it's coming towards the end of the week, or you could add in some of that packet rice, or you can use a second pot to do some pasta or rice as well. And again with the chili, that's pretty good ingredients until you get right to the end, less than 1%. So those are options, and perhaps better than going to a food van. I hope that's given you some ideas. Part of going away for me and camping is the fact you don't have to think about meals quite as much, and they are simplified. But simple doesn't mean that they have to be processed, and simple doesn't mean they have to be takeaway. You can do a really quick, simple meal on one hob. And of course, there's lots of things you can eat cold too if you get stuck. Okay, so happy camping everyone this summer. Enjoy the festivals. Hope that was helpful. Type any comments below, like if you liked it, and enjoy the sunshine. Take care. Bye.